What's going on, guys? It's Sep, and first you can find me live on twitch.tv/Separer every single night at 6 p.m. PST. And today's video is about the Trials matchmaking identity crisis. So, what is going on with the state of Trials? Well, first let's stick with how it used to be. How Trials used to be was it was only card-based matchmaking with connection-based matchmaking, and then you would play until you hit flawless, and when you reset, it reset your card-based matchmaking. That's how it was. That's how it was for a long time, and that's how it stayed for a little while. Now, with this newest update, how they changed it is they made it so you can get adept rewards after 7. Now, the matchmaking system after 7 would match you against flawless players. So every game after 7, whether your card was broken or not, it didn't matter if you had been flawless or your card was on flawless. It would no longer match the card appropriately, but it would match you win-based. Everyone seemed to like it. I knew people that had never played Trials before or never been good at Trials before, and they just had the time of their life last weekend. This is the first weekend of Season of the Lost. It had the most matches played of all time. It had the most flawlesses in Destiny 2, I believe. It had a 30% flawless success rate. People were able to get adepts after 7. It seemed like an all-around really solid system. So why did Bungie change it? Well, I talked with a lot of people, and we had a lot of discussions, and it seems like the reason that the flawless system changed was either A, to get less total flawlesses and more people flawlesses, or it was to make it so that they had 2 different matchmaking systems, and then they could choose the better of the 2. So first weekend was a blatant success, but they wanted to go ahead and try another system and see if maybe they could make another one work. So if that is the case, when matchmaking went live immediately on Friday afternoon, the second week of Season of the Lost, and the flawless card-based matchmaking was enabled immediately, it was rejected by the entirety of the community. It was unbelievably difficult because the pool was less than 1,000 players. Everyone was playing the same games over and over. Skill-based seemed to have been enabled because even after you go flawless, when you didn't match someone who was flawless, you would match a very, very difficult game. The flawless-based matchmaking, it seemed just to decrease the pool of players by such an exponential amount that Trials didn't really seem to know what it wanted to be anymore. So what is the best option? If you want more people flawless, as many people flawless as possible, but less total flawlesses, I think the best way is the flawless pool matchmaking does make it more competitive, and I do not think it's a bad idea, but enabling it immediately shuts out a lot of players. The second that a player that, let's say, is a 1.0 goes flawless, gets put in the matchmaking for flawless pool only, they are immediately wiped out and no longer want to play anymore. The system is abusable by carry streamers. They are currently doing 6-win resets, so they never go flawless. So streamers right now are specifically targeting players that aren't going flawless. So it's not necessarily making their games easier, but the flawless pool is still difficult. So this system seems bad for everybody. So the solution, I think, would be to enable the flawless pool, but not until Monday. If you do it the last day of the week, then it would allow the last final players to go flawless by only playing people that haven't been flawless, but it would still make it so that they wouldn't have necessarily a bad experience. And the flawless pool would be so big that people wouldn't just quit. And right now, people are just quitting. The replayability is falling off dramatically, and it is quick. It is happening literally by the second. So right now, we are begging for the matchmaking system to be reworked because Trials was a success. We have people like Lupo, we have people like Crafty, the player base is bigger than it's been for a long time. We need a change put in place, and we need that change put in place quite literally as soon as possible, because right now It's just not working. Now, I understand that adept loot shouldn't be handed out like candy. Personally, I think it should be, and then cosmetics should be more of a difficult thing, but adept weapons are the prize right now, so if we want to make it a little more difficult, I get it. You know, you don't want people like me getting 50 flawlesses in a weekend, fine. But for me to be put in a flawless pool, and then I have friends that I play with off stream as well, and they haven't been flawless yet, and I literally cannot help them because I'm playing in what seems like the Trials of Osiris scrim lobbies. Like, I'm not having an issue going flawless at all when I'm running with people like Zorbic or Roxley or other very, very skilled friends of mine, Myron. But when I'm running, you know, just with friends, or I'm playing with community, it makes it more difficult. So we need to decide if we want Trials to be this high competitive level gameplay, and flawless is like this insane thing that it's hard to achieve, and adept weapons maybe should be brought down to a little more accessible level, or do we want Trials to be a loot dump and we rework comp? I'm down for a competitive Destiny 2, but to flip-flop on Trials, we definitely need to find out what the Trials identity is, and whether or not we want it to be accessible to all players and no players. And right now, past one flawless, it's not accessible to anybody. And I think that's just one weekend. I know Bungie's monitoring it. I'm sure next weekend they'll flip-flop back and forth to try something new again. Very excited for King of the Hill next weekend is what I'm calling it, but it's like a zone control. It adds an objective to elimination. It'll be very fun. But yeah, this weekend kind of flopped, and it sucks to see. It sucks to see when they had it so insanely correct last weekend. And I know people that were never going flawless ever before, solo queuing to flawless for the first time. Seemed like people were having an absolute blast. The amount of flawlesses were ludicrous for everyone. And it just to go to the very next week and then seeing people, you know, close friends of mine very disappointed by the matchmaking, and the only people enjoying it are people abusing the system. It's tough to look at. So yeah, I really hope that we do have a brighter future. I absolutely understand Bungie wanting to try things. You know, they want to make sure that Trials has longevity. They want to make sure it has replayability. They want to make sure it retains that pinnacle feeling. But this weekend was not it. So hopefully we see a quick little change. Personally, I would rather just Trials be the loot dump that it is, and everyone just gets everything they want, and then they rework comp, and then we finally have a competitive survival playlist. Because right now, me being able to use skill-based matchmaking and just take anybody in it is kind of silly for a competitive playlist. You should have to be a lot more organized than that. Maybe an Apex system or a Rocket League system where you have seasonal ranks, and the better you do, then the better the reward you get. I'm looking for anything, but I don't think Trials is the place to take insanely competitive, personally. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts and comments. If you guys have any, you know, more questions or anything you want to talk about, you can talk about it in the comment section. I'll reply to everything. And then twitch.tv/Separer. I'm always live there, and I'll be doing a very, very long stream this weekend, so I'm sure you guys will find me. Much love, guys, and have a wonderful rest of your day.